Don't learn English if you are one of the losers, cowards, or delusional people who don't want to succeed in the academic field, in business, or in life. If you don't want to build your future or become rich, why bother learning English? But if you're ready to be blown away by the benefits of learning English, stick around. Today, I will tell you how to learn English and share the story of David's journey. Chapter 1. The Beginning. I remember the first time I heard English. It was on TV. The characters spoke a language I couldn't grasp. They laughed and seemed happy, but I felt left out. At school, English class was a nightmare. The teacher's words were just sounds to me, and I dreaded being called on. One day, I decided I wanted to change. I wanted to join in those conversations, enjoy those TV shows, and do well in school. My first step was learning the alphabet. It was challenging, but each letter I mastered felt like a small victory. I remember sitting at my kitchen table, a piece of paper in front of me with the alphabet written out. My mom had helped me write it, and I traced the letters over and over again. Each time I got a little better, a little more confident. My mom was my first teacher. She patiently went through each letter with me, making the sounds and helping me practice. We made a game of it, finding objects around the house that started with each letter. A for apple, B for book, C for cat. It was fun, and I started to see that learning English didn't have to be scary. It could be an adventure. Chapter 2. Building vocabulary. After the alphabet, I moved on to simple words, words I saw every day. Flashcards became my best friends. I made them colorful and fun, and practicing them daily helped these words stick in my mind. Every new word was a stepping stone. I remember one day in particular. I had a set of flashcards with animals on them. I would hold up a card with a picture of a dog and say, dog. Then I'd do the same with a cat, a bird, and a fish. It was like a game, and I loved it. Each time I learned a new word, I felt a sense of accomplishment. My dad also got involved. He would quiz me on my flashcards, and we would make up little stories using the words I knew. It made learning more interesting and helped me remember the words better. We'd laugh and have fun, and I started to see that learning English could be enjoyable. Chapter 3. Forming sentences. With a growing vocabulary, I started making simple sentences. I am David. This is a book. These sentences might seem basic, but they were my first steps towards real communication. Speaking out loud was scary, but I practiced with friends who were patient and supportive. I had a journal where I would write a sentence each day. At first, they were very simple. The cat is black. I like apples. But as I got more confident, I started writing longer sentences and even short paragraphs. I also started speaking more English with my friends. At first, it was just a word or two, but soon I was having short conversations. They were very patient with me, helping me when I got stuck and encouraging me to keep going. One day, I remember having a conversation with my friend Tom. It was a simple conversation about our favorite foods, but it felt like a huge achievement. I realized that I could actually use English to communicate, and it made me feel amazing. Chapter 4. Reading and listening. Reading and listening were also crucial. Children's books with pictures helped me understand stories, and English songs made learning fun. I sang along, even if I didn't understand all the words at first. Slowly, everything started to make sense. I started with very simple books, ones with lots of pictures and only a few words on each page. I would read them with my mom or dad, and they would help me with the words I didn't know. Over time, I started to understand more and more. Music was another big help. I loved listening to English songs, even if I didn't understand all the words at first. I would sing along, trying to match the sounds and the rhythm. It was fun, and it helped me get used to the sound of English. I remember one song in particular that I loved. It was called Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. It was a simple song, but singing it helped me learn new words and practice my pronunciation. Plus, it was fun. Chapter 5. The Breakthrough. There was a moment when everything just clicked. I was in class, and the teacher asked a question. Without thinking, I raised my hand and answered, in English. My classmates and teacher were surprised, and so was I. But it felt amazing. All my hard work was paying off. I remember that day vividly. It was a history lesson, and the teacher asked something about a famous event. I knew the answer, and before I realized it, my hand was in the air. When the teacher called on me, I answered in English. My classmates turned to look at me, and the teacher smiled and nodded. I felt a rush of pride and excitement. It was the first time I really felt confident speaking English in front of others. From that day on, I felt more confident in my English abilities. I started participating more in class, asking questions, and even helping my classmates. It was a turning point in my journey. Chapter 6. Expanding Horizons. As I got better, I started exploring more challenging books and different types of media. I read novels, watched movies, and even started writing my own stories in English. Each new challenge was an opportunity to learn and grow. I remember picking up my first novel. It was a children's book, but it was longer and had more complex language than anything I had read before. I took it one chapter at a time, looking up words I didn't know and writing them down in my journal. Watching movies was another great way to learn. I started with movies I had seen before in my native language, so I knew the story. Watching them in English helped me understand the dialogue better. I would pause the movie to look up words or phrases I didn't understand, and gradually, I needed to do that less and less. Writing my own stories was also a big part of my learning process. I would write about my day, my dreams, and even make up fictional stories. It helped me practice my grammar and expand my vocabulary. Plus, it was a lot of fun. Chapter 7. Real-life conversations. The more I learned, the more I wanted to use English in real-life situations. I started chatting with friends, talking to strangers, and even helping tourists in my town. Each conversation was a chance to practice and improve. One memorable experience was when I helped a tourist who was lost. They spoke English, and I was able to give them directions. It was a simple interaction, but it made me realize how far I had come. I also started attending English-speaking events and clubs. It was a great way to meet new people and practice my English in a social setting. At first, it was intimidating, but I quickly realized that everyone was there to learn and improve, just like me. These experiences helped me become more fluent and confident in my English skills. I learned to navigate different accents, understand cultural nuances, and express myself more naturally. Chapter 8: Embracing Mistakes. One of the most important lessons I learned was to embrace mistakes. Every mistake was a learning opportunity. I stopped being afraid of making errors and started seeing them as a natural part of the learning process. There were times when I felt embarrassed or frustrated, but I reminded myself that every mistake brought me one step closer to fluency. Whether it was mispronouncing a word or using the wrong grammar, I learned from each experience and kept moving forward. My friends and family were incredibly supportive. They encouraged me to keep trying, even when I felt discouraged. Their patience and encouragement were crucial to my progress. Chapter 9: Achieving Fluency. With years of dedication and practice, I achieved fluency. I could hold conversations, read complex books, and write essays with ease. One of the proudest moments in my journey was when I gave a presentation in English. It was in front of my class, and I spoke about a topic I was passionate about. I was nervous, but I felt prepared. When I finished, my classmates applauded, and my teacher congratulated me. It was a moment of validation and pride. I realized that I had achieved something I once thought was impossible. I had learned English, and it had opened up a world of opportunities for me. Conclusion: never give up. Learning English was a journey with many small steps. Each mistake taught me something new, and every bit of progress motivated me to keep going. Today, I'm proud of how far I've come. If you're learning English, remember to start small, practice every day, and don't be afraid to make mistakes. You can do it too, just like I did. Thanks for listening. Good luck with your English journey. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more inspiring stories and helpful tips.